Well, hello, ladies and gentlemen. I am the Stone Prophet, and welcome to the Stoner Stories. The story I'm about to tell you is the time me and my two friends went on one of the craziest road trips ever experienced by a 16-year-old. This story has a couple crazy moments, and it's just an overall scary experience. Well, to start this off, we decided to go to a road trip. Well, we decided to go camping and do a road trip down to a lake at the lower end of our state because we just wanted to do it. It was summer and we decided, hey, it's something we should do. So this was poorly planned. We literally spent like less than $50 on food, and we got like $100 tent. No, not even $100 tent. It was like, I think it was like $90. And we were not prepared, okay? Even our parents were like, no, you probably shouldn't do this. Well, one of my friend's parents actually said, no, you can't go. And then the very next morning, they're like, oh, okay, maybe you can go. So he ended up coming with us. Well, when we started going, it was a pretty fun time. We were just joking around, going 90 on the freeway. And if you're new, if you just barely got a car, tip to you, don't ever go over 90 for like 2 hours. Your car is gonna burn. It's gonna burn up, man. And the car was overheating after like halfway through. We were having a good time after like 2 hours, and we still had like a couple hours to go. So we were driving, and the car started to overheat in the middle of the desert. And so we stopped, and we waited 10 minutes, and then eventually it cooled down a little bit. So we got back in, and we started driving again. And when we were driving, it was going pretty good. It was going up and down on the heat meter, like how hot it was inside of the engine. And then after we got like, I think it was like 20 miles, not even 20 miles, I don't think. Then the car overheated again, and we pulled over. And so we decided to check the oil and all that kind of stuff. The oil was low. And the stupidest thing we ever did is we tried to we put oil in the freaking engine, no, in the where the oil is supposed to go, when it's burning hot. Don't ever do this. Don't ever try to do this, because if oil drips off, it's gonna light on fire. That's what ours did. And instead of like trying to get water and stuff, we told our friend Jeremiah, we're like, hey, pee on this. So he runs up, he unzips his pants, and he's like, he's waiting there for a sec, and then after like 10 seconds, he's like, I can't pee on it. And then my friend Bear hurried and grabbed water. It was hilarious. And that was number one of the dumbest shit that we've ever done. We had a whole nother night of this, and no, it was like a night and a half. So we decided to keep going like fucking retards. I don't know why we decided to go. No offense to anybody, but no, we were dumb. We were dumb. We shouldn't have done that. We shouldn't even have went to this lake. So we keep going, and we pass a town, but no. We passed the town before. So we keep going after we're stuck in the desert, and we barely get over this hill. It breaks down again, and then we get over the hill one more time, this other hill, and it breaks down, but we passed the campsite right before it. And we decided to stay there for a little bit, see if we can get the car to cool down, but it was like 10 miles from, no, it was like a mile from the campsite. So we're waiting there, and the car is not working. It's not even starting at this point. So we're waiting there for people, and a BMW passes. They won't even stop for us because they're like, oh, I'm not gonna help somebody at the side of the road at like midnight. That's a death trap. So these people don't even stop for us. And then this truck comes by, and I'm freaking out. I'm like, hey, help me. And they don't even stop. He keeps going. And then I think it's a Tahoe, like one of those big kind of like looking vehicles. A Tahoe, I believe it was. They stopped, and they had some baseball players that were going to a tournament. And once they said they were going to tell the sheriff to come help us. So we waited for like another 4 hours, and the sheriff never came. So we ended up pushing the car a little bit and getting it down this hill over to this campsite. You'll never believe this. As soon as we got to this campsite, the very first thing I see is the guy that passed us, the truck guy that stopped there. You guys have no idea how much it took for me not to slash this guy's tires and leave him stranded like he left us. He was literally only a mile away. He didn't stop and help us at all. He had nothing else to do. Nothing. Absolutely not. He didn't help us. And my friends literally, we had a 20-minute chat about why we shouldn't do it. I wanted to slash their tires so bad because you're not gonna stop for people on the side of the road. That's messed up, man. But we ended up like pitching. We had to pitch our tent in the pitch black. We had to make a little fire and then pitch our tent. And as we're pitching our tent, our fire just goes out of nowhere. And then all of a sudden, like out of a horror scene, we hear a freaking like growl or something coming from these bushes, and I shit you not, swear to God, it was a demon, man. Call up Dean and Sam, get that shit supernaturalized. I'm not even kidding, man. It was scary. And my friend's over here, he's not even panicking at all. He's like, oh, it could be a bear, could be a liger, could be a fucking dragon. And then out of nowhere, I'm just like, oh, it could be a witch. And my friend dropped balls. My friend, he hates witches, which I kind of see why he hates witches. I have a fear of clowns, so you can make fun of me for that in the comments if you want to. But so we hear all this stuff and it's so scary, and then we set up the thing, and I'm having a panic attack, and we get stoned. We're getting stoned off of our ass high as fuck, and then they go to bed. Well, these sneaky motherfuckers, they come inside of the tent, and there's two little soft areas like sand, and then there's a hard ass rock area in the middle. And these guys stick me with the rock after I've drove all day and I have to drive and do some shit tomorrow. They stick me with the hard ass rock. I have insomnia, so it's like impossible for me to sleep anyway. And these guys stick me with the rock. Freaking assholes. I love my friends though. And then I couldn't sleep, so I went outside and I got more stoned, and I was having a 2-hour panic attack because I was like, what am I gonna do? I'm gonna die. Oh my god. And it was crazy. It was ridiculous. No 16-year-old should go through this. And so I'm having a panic attack. I'm chilling out there. I'm freaking the fuck out. And then I eventually go in, like, after 2 hours, after the 2-hour panic attack, and then, like, 4 hours later, I wake up, and they're outside, and it's light, and I'm like, okay, we gotta do shit. And it was the scariest night. And then, in the morning, we try to start the car starts, and we're like, oh, okay, it's gonna do something, and then we get over the hill, and it just dies. It didn't work at all, so we had to sit by it for another, another 3 hours, and then, oh man, this is crazy. This guy in a truck, swear to God, this guy was a pedophile or something. He was a murderer. He was friends with Ted Bundy. Freaking Hannibal Lecter is his cousin or some shit like that. Because this dude was creepy. This is how he's creepy. I don't even have to describe looks to you. This is the one thing that he said. He's like, one of you guys can come in with me to town. And I looked at my friends, and we share contact, like eye contact, for a good 10 seconds, and we're like, fuck this creepy guy, we ain't going with this guy. We're either all going or nobody's going. And then we all turn around simultaneously, and we're like, can we all go? And sit in the back of your truck. And we sit in the back of this dude's flatbed truck for another 2 hours till we get to this town. And so my car's been abandoned in the middle of nowhere, and we drove 2 hours to this other fucking town. No, it was like an hour to this other fucking town. And once we get there, I pay for a tow truck, and the tow truck gets halfway there. We're driving, it's gonna take a long time. We were driving for a minute. So we get there, I think it was 45 minutes we were in the car or something. No, in the tow truck. And they get a call from the depot that says my car was picked up by another tow truck another hour from the car the other way. So we have to go all the way back with the dude from the tow truck and we have to figure out a way to get 2 hours over to where this fucking other town is that we passed. So we're sitting in there, and I'm calling my dad. I'm like, I don't know what to do. And this one guy comes in. He was wearing a black shirt, and he was kind of fit, and he had some jeans on. He looked like a, John Travolta, how he looked in, you guys are going to hate me because I don't know the name, Grease or something like that. Yeah, he kind of looked like that, except he didn't have the leather, but he kind of had the hairdo kind of going on. And this guy had his dog, it was his dog, I believe. So he's like, yeah, I'll take you to the other town, just let me go to my house first. Sketched out of this dude already. And I was sitting in his car. I brought a knife with me because you're not gonna go on a big road trip without a knife. I had it on my side, and I'm thinking, oh dude, don't try nothing, because this dude's creepy. This dude was like kind of like keeping to himself. So we get to his house. He goes in there for like a good 10 minutes, and we're just talking and all this kind of stuff, and we're like, oh, just in case he does anything, because he was being too nice, you know those people that are just like, you kind of get a vibe from them. You're like, oh, you can't be too nice to me. It's like somebody's like, oh yeah, here, have this really nice car for no reason. You're like, what? Why? You're just like, you don't trust them. So we're driving with this guy, and then after he got out of his house, he starts driving with us, and stranger, never met him in my life. After like an hour, I was so tired, I fell asleep in the stranger's car. And my friend Bear fell asleep in the stranger's car too. The only person awake was my friend Jeremiah. And if you think about it, all this guy had to do was slash Jeremiah's throat, and I could be in the freaking woods right now, tied up, missing a leg or an arm or something, like some Hills Have Eyes shit. He could have done that so easily. Oh man, it's even hard to think about. It's so crazy, it's ridiculous. And I fell asleep in his car, dude. And then I wake up halfway, and we're going to get my car and stuff in it. And the car that I have in it has weed in it, and it also has a gas mask. And if you ever want to get high, you buy a gas mask. A gas mask is crazy. And so I think about it after we're driving, and I'm like, the sheriff picked my car up. He definitely, and he would have smelt it. I would have been like, oh man. So we get there. I pay the thing after talking to my dad so we can get our stuff out of the car. And this sheriff walks out of these doors, and he was like, I'll show you where your car is. My heart dropped. I'm like, this guy, I'm gonna get arrested. I'm like, I'm done. I'm dead. So he takes us back there, and I told my friend Bear, and I'm like, oh, okay, you gotta. So he's talking to him, and I open the door, and I get a blast of weed smell, and I'm like, oh shit. And I'm like, if he smells this, we're done. So I whip out my cologne, and I flavor blasted the entire freaking car. It was disgusting. It smelled nasty. But we got it out of there. Cop didn't know shit. And then we get into this guy's car, and as we are driving, like we are driving home with it in the car, and he's being nice. We're talking to him. He's a really cool guy. And he goes out of nowhere, breaks the silence, and he's like, does it smell like skunk in here? And I look over at my friend, and I'm like, oh shit, he knows. We all had a moment like, oh shit, he knows. So we all freaking rolled down our window, and I'm all like trying to spray and trying to rearrange it, put more clothes on my shit. And he's just like, no, it smells like a skunk in here. And I'm like, this guy's either going to kick us out or call the cops. I'm like, we got to do something. And we again used my cologne, and this dude's like, why are you spraying cologne in my car? I'm like, sorry, man. I don't smell that good. I'm sorry. He's like, you're making it smell worse. And I'm like, I know, I'm sorry. But, we got away with it. And as soon as we got home, my friend's dad was talking to us, and he just looks us in the eyes, and he's like, you guys know you're dumb fucks, right? Who gives us the freedom, man, to go on a road trip at the age of 16? Don't do it, man. Road trips are for adults. But if you guys enjoyed, man, if you enjoyed this little story, please drop a like. And I don't know if there's any time left on this video for the gameplay. If there is, I will leave it in the background. If there is not, I will be ending the video. And thank you guys for watching. I will see you in the next one. Peace.